Hi everybody, Jeri Bellini here from my Arts and Parts in my year 2017, and this is part 3 of my July prompt for my year, and the prompt is loved ones, your loved ones. And so the last 2 parts I was showing you what I was using, how I was going to use it, gathering my supplies, and I showed you a few of the pages in my book. This is a page out of my book, and I have it sitting here on my table so that the camera will focus, because what's underneath it is white. So this particular part, I am going to be sharing with you how I am making the cover. And if you're interested in seeing what I am talking about, please go back and see parts 1 and 2. All right, so here's the cover, and I decided to use matte board because I have a ton of it. And I am a big recycler, as you well know. I had fully planned on using an old book cover, but to be honest with you, I didn't think about the cover when I started the project, and so I didn't really have a book cover that was the appropriate size for the pages that I chose, which are 8.5 by 11. So you might want to, if you're going to make a book, you might want to think about what size your pages are based on, if you're going to use an old recycled book cover, based on the size of the book cover that you have. So as I said, we have tons of matte board in our house, and that's what I decided to use. So I cut, my pages are 8.5 by 11, and I cut my matte board 11.5 by 8 3/4. So the page is going to just fit in there nicely, and I am doing either a ring binding or I'm going to tie my pages together. I haven't decided. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have that little edge there and a little edge on the top and bottom. I could have cut it another 1/4 inch smaller, but I just decided I'm going to give myself a little more room. So that's what I have here. That's what we're starting with. All right. Now, I will be back in a moment, and we are going to cover these 2 pieces of matte board with some fun stuff. Okay guys, I'm back, and I have decided to use this for my front cover. And I am going to put a link in the description below, because I know you're going to want to know how to do this. This is a fabric paper that Barb Owens has a YouTube video on how to make this. And I made a bunch of these a couple of years ago, and I've never done anything with them. I was just rooting through my drawer and found it, and I said, wow, this is like a really happy piece of material. And it's paper actually, but it's soft. So I'm going to use this for my front cover, and I found this piece of yellow, and this is my leather look paper, and I have a video I made on how I did this. I'll put that in the description box below. I'm going to use that for the back. Very happy, bright yellow. My mother was a blonde, and so when I saw the yellow paper, I thought of her. So that's what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do, here is my matte board. I am going to cut out enough, and I'm going to glue it down, and I'm going to fold it over like this and glue it. Okay, and I'm going to use this Utrick Artist Acrylic Matte Medium, and you see how big the container I buy, because I love this glue. It's awesome glue. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this, and then I'll come back and show you what I did. All right, I came back because I wanted to show you what I'm going to do. I did glue the fabric paper, which is actually construction paper, if you can believe it. It's an amazing technique. And I glued the other side of my matte board, and now I'm going to put glue all around the edges, and I am going to fold over my corner. Let me show you. I'm going to fold over my corner like that, and then I'm going to fold this side up and this side over with lots of glue under there. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back. All right, we're back, and this doesn't look exactly like what I left you with. So here's what I left you with. I covered this piece of mat board with this beautiful fabric paper, and it started, you know, bending and moving. And mat board is pretty sturdy, but I said, you know, this book's going to get it's going to get a lot of abuse. So I wanted to make a bit of a sturdier cover, I decided. And so what I did, and I just put clips on the corners to hold the corners down while the glue is drying. And when I'm all finished with that, I'm going to put it under some books. So what I did is I took another piece of mat board right here, and I covered it with a piece of deli paper that I had jelly printed. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these two pieces together. Now this inside piece, I'm just going to take these clips off to show you. The inside mat board, the inside cover, this is the inside front cover, is a little bit smaller than the actual cover, as you can probably see, or maybe you can't because the colors are kind of close. I actually made this mat board the same size as my cardstock, so it's 8.5 by 11. And this way, my intention is to poke holes in this and do it like a big ring binder. Okay, so I may even move this over to the left a hair so that it's closer to the edge where I'm going to poke the holes. I think that's what I'm going to do. And you know, just make sure when you fold your fabric over on your cover that you fold over enough so that, you know, you can do this. So normally what I would do if I didn't want this double thickness of mat board, normally what I would do is once this was glued, okay, now I'm going to put some heavy things on top of this to make it until it dries, to make it stay flat. So normally what I would do is then take a piece of pretty paper and glue it down just like that. That's what I would do, and it would look beautiful. But again, as I said, I felt like I needed a little bit more stability, and that is what I came up with. Okay, my goodness, they are done. They are still wet, but they are glued and ready. So I wanted to just quick show them to you, and then I'm going to let them sit with something heavy on top of them. But they already are nice and flat. See that? I'm real happy with that. And this is the front cover, and there's the inside. This is the back cover, and this is the inside back cover. So you see what I did? I offset the second piece that I put in and pushed it towards the edge, so that this is my template for my page. When my pages are in, it's going to be perfect. So I'll poke the holes there. And there you have it. And the book can get as thick as I want. That goes. So here's my covers. That's it. It's going to dry. I'll poke the holes. I'll bring it back. And then I will show you with the holes poked and the pages in. And that'll be the end of that. And I hope you've enjoyed it so far. And I will see you again tomorrow when these are good and dry. Have a blessed day full of love and art.